皆さんこんにちは。アメスマチャンネルの千代です。今回はですね、西本貿易さんとの、コラボ企画でお届けします。西本貿易さんでフルーツギフトというアメリカの、フルーツをですね日本に送る、サービスをやってらっしゃるんですけれども、その中でアメリカの、チェリーとかオレンジとか、いろんなものを取り扱っていらっしゃって、今回はですねワシントン州にあるレイニアチェリーの農園の方を、ご紹介いただきまして、そちらに来ております。今日はねこのレイニアチェリーを育ててらっしゃる、農園を2つですね訪問してですね、どのようにチェリーが育っているかとかですね、あとはそのレイニアチェリーの特徴なんかを皆さんにお届けできればなというふうに思っておりますので、早速見ていきたいと思います。はい、今回ですね農園をご案内いただく、Norwood さんに来ていただいてます。よろしくお願いします。Can you please introduce yourself briefly?
Sure. My name's Brian Norwood. I'm the export sales manager for G-Wiz Oval Fruit Company. Very excited for the upcoming cherry season.
Yeah, right.
G-Wiz is a family-owned company. We only grow, pack, and ship our own fruit. We have no outside growers, so we control our farming practices from the orchard all the way to the packed box when we ship it to customers around the world. We have very modern ways of farming. Nowadays, as you can see behind us, we have the V-trellis form of farming. It gives us these nice fruiting walls that are attached to these wires. Advantage is it lets more sunlight into the fruit and into the tree. So the more sunlight, the better the fruit grows.
Right.
The better color on the fruit for sales.
I see.
And the better sugars.
I see. And how many people work in here?
From orchard to packing line to the office, we have about 500 employees.
Wow, 500.
Yes.
That's a lot.
Yeah. Yep.
And then how big this orchard is?
Cherries total, we have 200 acres of cherries.
So you are probably one of the biggest farms in this area.
In the area, yes, but in terms of Yakima and Wenatchee and Quincy, we're pretty small compared to
really?
others. Yeah.
Wow, interesting.
Yeah. Right now it's June 10th. Typical seasons we harvest. These are Rainier cherry trees.
Right.
Typical years we harvest Rainiers right around June 28th to July 3rd, somewhere in there, for about a 2-week span. This year we had a cold spring with some rain, and so it delayed our bloom season about 2 weeks, which means our harvest is delayed about 2 more weeks. So we're going to actually harvest our Rainier cherries around July 12th to the 15th, somewhere in there is when we'll start. If you look overhead, the other advantage that we have and huge investment is shade cloth. So there's 2 purposes to the shade cloth. One is it protects the cherries from having sunburn because it reduces the intensity of the sunlight onto the fruit, as well as it adds as it blocks birds from entering the orchard, because birds like the sugar in the cherries, just like we do.
I saw an article that saying birds eat 1/3 of these cherries. Is that
Correct?
true?
Yes.
Wow.
It can. That's why we felt, it's a huge investment, but it really pays off. If it saves a third of your crop, it really pays off to buy the shade cloth and have that overhead so you can block the birds from coming into the orchards.
How many cherries you guys have in each row?
Each row is hard to tell. Usually while we pick into a 20-pound bucket.
20-pound bucket?
And usually we can get 2 or 3 buckets per tree.
Okay, per tree.
But typically when we harvest, we'll pick each orchard maybe 2 or 3 times. So the first pick through, we'll pick the top 2 or 3 wires of the tree because it's closer to the sunlight, less leaves blocking it, so it has the better color and maturity early on. Then after that pick, we wait maybe 5 more days.
I see.
And give the middle wires a few more days to get color and size. And then we come and pick those. And then the last pick, we come back and pick anything that's left on the tree.
I see.
Typically for Japan or other export markets, we usually give the first and second pick because it's the highest color, highest flavor, highest quality.
I see.
And then the third pick through is typically for our domestic partners. Lower quality, lighter color, still tastes good, but not quite good enough for what we need for our G-Wiz label and export.
Right, so top is the best.
Top is the best, yes.
Easy. Are you guys exporting products to not only Japan but also other countries as well?
Yes, we do. Our biggest priority is Japan. I would say 75 to 80% of our Rainiers that we grow go to Japan.
Okay.
And then after that, we send to our biggest market after that is China.
Oh, China.
And then Taiwan and Vietnam after that.
Okay, Asian countries.
All Asian countries.
Wow.
So, as you know, high color, high flavor.
That's right.
Very important. And, you know, we invest a lot more money in how we farm. Better pricing in the Asian markets.
Right.
But with all the investments, it produces fruit that hits what Asian markets need for the quality and flavor.
Gotcha.
So it's usually more expensive, but it's the G-Whiz label, which everyone knows and loves. So we have to make sure that the fruit that we put in the G-Whiz label, it meets our standards.
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha.
I think the best way for a consumer to store cherries is in the refrigerator. If you do have a cold, dry place that you can store cherries, that will work as well. You definitely don't want to leave them on the counter.
Yeah, right.
They'll dry out and soften up. So the fridge is the best place, or somewhere just cold and dry. You definitely don't want to leave them in water because they'll absorb the water and split.
Right.
So if you want to wash them off, you can wash them off, put them back in the bag or in a bowl or something, and put it back in your refrigerator until you want to eat them.
Okay, and then how many days it lasts? Like good quality.
I think our good quality Rainiers, they're so firm and full of sugar, they can last 7 to 10 days.
7 to 10
easily.
Days. This is a water system, right?
Yes.
And how often you put water in the tree?
So it's a delicate balance. This time of year, we can water a little bit more than right around harvest. Because when you water, the tree absorbs all the water and pushes it to the fruit. We don't want to give it too much water because the fruit will absorb water too quickly and then it'll split.
Okay.
Which then we can't sell. So usually we'll water every other day for maybe a 10-hour shift. And then we'll wait for another 2 days to water. During the summer, during harvest, it gets so hot that it helps to water in the evenings to cool off the orchards.
Right.
So then overnight, the fruit can firm back up. We can pick it in the morning, and it's still firm while we pick it. We always try to pick first thing in the morning. We start right when it gets light out, and then we stop by the time it gets to about 90 degrees Fahrenheit. Anything past 90 degrees, it's too warm, the fruit is too soft.
I see.
And then it'll bruise when we're picking it.
Okay.
So we pick until about 90 degrees, we stop, we turn the water on in the evening, we let it cool back off overnight, firm the cherry back up, and then we start again in the morning and pick again when the fruit's firm again.
Okay, so typically until maybe like noon-ish?
Yeah, yep, it depends on the day and the year, but typically we pick from 5 a.m. until noon, and then all afternoon we bring the fruit in, we store it, we get it cold, and then our typical timeline is let's say we pick on a Monday, we store it all day Tuesday to get it cold in our cold rooms. So we try to drop the internal temperature down to 38 to 40 degrees Fahrenheit. And then we will pack it Wednesday. We'll drop it back down in temperature again overnight in storage, and then we'll ship it Thursday.
Okay, I see.
And then it arrives usually Thursday night or Friday morning in Japan or wherever it's going, and then is sold that day. So from the tree in Washington to the stores in Japan, it's 4 days.
4 days, wow, okay.
So it's very fresh still.
Yeah, that's right.
Yep.
Wow.
So with this style of farming on the V trellis, we're able to, as you can see, we're able to plant trees closer together. We angle them away from each other. So every other tree points one direction and every other tree points the other direction. This way we can plant more trees per acre and get higher output per acre.
Oh, okay.
But this way we're not taking up too much room. This is the more modern style, new age style of farming.
We see a lot of like Rainier cherries in supermarket, like Costco or other regular supermarket. And how would you describe like the difference in terms of like them and then your brand?
So for Costco and those major chains, they care more. They want good quality, but they care more about volume to fill how much business they have. We're not the biggest cherry shipper or grower, but what we do is we spend all the money invested in farming to make sure that we're the best.
Right.
Not every cherry is worthy of being in the G-Whiz box, but the ones that are, we charge more for, and it's more of a high-end specialty cherry and specialty customer that can afford that cherry and and has the privilege of selling it. We don't try to hit the markets like Costco or Walmart. We want to provide higher quality cherries for more money to the best customers for gift boxes or for the high quality customers.
And then also, do you see the difference between the cherries in Washington and then also cherries in California, Oregon? I mean, they grow the Rainier cherries as well, right?
Yes. Yep, they do. The biggest difference there is the climate. Up here along the river, we get nice cold nights, which helps produce really good color. And our soil up here is a little more rich in nutrients. And the climate is just a little bit more mild here than California, where it's warmer, there's less water availability. Here we have no water restrictions. We can water anytime we need. The trees, as you can tell, are very healthy and happy trees. Nice green leaves, thick. So I think Washington quality is the best just because of our region, our mild climate. Still get warm days in the summer to promote good color and growth and flavor, but still cool enough nights to promote firm cherries, good color, and overall condition better.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, so how do you spend days here? I mean, people like do any specific activities or things?
Yeah, so the Wenatchee Valley is it's an area that we experience all 4 seasons. So the summer's very warm. So a lot of times when we're not working or growing fruit, we're out on the river out here, swimming or boating. And then in the winter, there's we get a lot of snow. So we snow ski or hike in the snow, snowshoe. And then spring and fall, there's a lot of mountain biking and dirt biking and hiking. And, so it's a very outdoorsy community. So we don't like to stay inside. So we like cultivating and growing fruit, but we also like just enjoying the outdoors as well. Lots of recreation with swimming and biking and golfing and all that kind of thing.
Wow, that's cool. Yeah, we see a beautiful like river and then also mountain with the snow. So it's very beautiful.
Yep.
通常ですね、このチェリー、ここで農園で来てピックアップするのって許可されてないんですけれども、特別にですね、許可いただきましたんで、ちょっと食べてみたいと思います。ただね、ちょっとまだね、色がね、こう、まだ収穫の時ではないみたいなんで、早いような気がするんですが、ちょっと、もういで。こっちの方はね、色がもう赤くなってて、こっちはまだやっぱり、色がまだって感じですね。ちょっとまだ早いんで、どんな味かわかんないんですけど、食べてみたいと思います。まだちょっとね、やっぱね、苦さと酸味はありますけど、チェリーの本来の味っていうのはすごく感じますね。ここにおそらく時間が経てば経つほど甘みが加わっていって、すごいいい味になるんじゃないかなと思います。非常にね、食感はパリッとしてて、水分も多くてジューシーで美味しいと思います。So what this building is about?
So this is, we have 2 cherry lines. We have our main cherry line where we pack for domestic business, as well as other Asian export markets. And then we have a dedicated packing line for Japan. There we pack our specialty packs. And we pack it and it says for Japan with the G-Wiz label.
That's right. Okay.
And then in these boxes, we pack our small 1 kilo boxes for Japan.
I see.
And these are made specifically for our customers in Japan.
Wow.
And I can show you inside if you'd want to come.
Oh, great. Thank you.
During the season when we're packing Rainiers, this tank down here is full of cold water. We bring the cherry buckets in. We dump 1 bucket at a time onto this conveyor belt, which rotates. We have ladies sitting in all of these chairs sorting the fruit. They sort it for size. So we have to make sure it's 9.5 row and larger or 10 row and larger in each box. So if it doesn't meet the size, they put it up here with the belt running this direction to feed a box for domestic business.
I see.
So we dump it in a bucket at a time, comes out of the cold water, it gets sorted, and then you work your way down the line to where it gets packaged into the 1 kilo boxes. And that's an automatic packing machine. So it automatically weighs out 1 kilogram of fruit, puts it in the box moves on the conveyor, and then gets hand packed into a master cart. So in here is where we store all our cherries. Right now, these are the cooling units.
Oh, okay, I see. こちらはですね、チェリーの貯蔵室という風になってまして、ここ結構寒いです。今半袖なんですけど、かなり涼しいっていう感じで、まだこれチェリーの収穫終わってないので、ここからのスペースなんですけど、実際にチェリー収穫したらここにもうすごい高い山が積み上がって、でここでチェリーを1日ぐらいですね、冷やすということですね。要は収穫して外なんで、暑い状態からここで1回冷やして、できちんとその美味しさを閉じ込めてから常温に戻して日本へ配送するということなんです。こちら G ウィズさんのですね農園を訪問してきました。担当ノーウッドさんがねもういろいろ説明してくれてとても詳しく、理解することができましたね。でやっぱねこの自然豊かな環境に囲まれてこのチェリーを育てていて、そしてたくさんの人が関わって、チェリーが育っているんだなっていうことが実感できて、そりゃいいお値段でいいクオリティのものを作ってらっしゃるなというふうに感じましたね。ぜひねこれチェリーあと1ヶ月ぐらいで仕上がって7月の中旬ぐらいにはね非常にいい状態のものになりますので、ぜひ、皆さんこの西本貿易さんのフルーツギフトこちらからねご注文いただければなというふうに思います。はい、2つ目のですね農園であるラテラルルーツさんにやってきました。でね、ラテラルルーツさんで紹介していただけるのはこのお二人です。
I'm Sheree, this is Danae. We're sisters and owners of Lateral Roots Farm, along with our 2 brothers that aren't here today. But we own this farm together, all of our siblings, and
What was the sound like? I heard the sound like boom, boom.
The boom, booming. Yeah.
Right.
So the large bombs going off in the background, those are just cherry cannons. Basically, we're using that to scare off the birds. That right there.
That was big.
Perfect timing. Yeah.
Right.
So this time of year with the cherries in the tree, these are like the sweetest things out there right now. A lot of the other fruit isn't mature yet. It's not sweet. The birds aren't attracted to it. So naturally they would have flocked to all the cherries and eat the cherries off the tree before we can harvest. And so we use a couple different techniques. The cannon, you can hear that's the loud booming in the background. We also have squawkers out, so a very specific sound of a predator bird to the robins and stuff that come and eat our cherries. It's just running on repeat, and so try to, distract them from coming in that way as well. Those are the 2 methods we use here at this farm. There's other methods out there, but those
the falcon boxes.
and the falcon boxes that we have.
They encourage nesting of predatory birds in the fields as well.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
So another tool that we use here on our farm is this, you can see this cloth down behind you. So we use it for kind of 2 reasons. One, we have it down early in the season, so we put it down early. What that's doing is it's bringing that light that's coming down, reflecting it back up into the tree, and just giving that sunlight throughout the whole tree, making it a little bit healthier, a little bit more balanced of a tree early in the season. And then later season, so it's a 2-part later in the season. Right now, this time of year, that is reflecting back up into these cherries and helping them color up more and more sunlight towards the cherries that might be hidden down and low,
Right.
and it helps color up those cherries. So we actually use it for 2 reasons. As overall health for our tree as we go from harvest to harvest, as well as that short-term benefit that it brings to your crop that year.
I see.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, so it's fun.
はい、じゃあ今ねちょっと許可をいただいたんで早速チェリーをいただいてみたいと思います。じゃあいただきます。It's pretty good. 美味しい。
But one of the ways that we determine if we are ready for picking, harvesting our cherries is we check the sugar contents. And so we do that using the refractometer. You just place some juice from the cherry.
A lot of juice.
And then put the cover over it. And then, I don't know if you'll be able to do this through the phone, But if you look inside, you can see a clear line that shows the current measurement of sugars. So this is currently a 14. And I believe our goals are 16 or 17.
Oh, I see.
So we still have a ways to go.
Okay,
And that was a beautiful cherry.
Right.
They're going to be so cool next year.
Okay.
Ooh. There you go.
You guys are picking up by hands?
Yep. Yeah, everything's done by hand. So our crew comes in. They have a bucket that goes on the front of them.
Right.
Just harnessed onto them. And they're just picking by hand. And since we're a smaller farm and we have the ability to do this, well, when we come in, we only pick what's ready.
Right,
So we'll
right.
start, in an orchard and we'll go through and we'll pick what's ripe and ready to pick and let everything else that's not ready hang
Right.
on the tree longer. After it's picked into the bucket, we actually do another step in the orchard where we have ladies that kind of go through and sort through the cherries and
Oh, I
kind of
see.
make sure, quality control.
Okay, gotcha. はい、オービル農園さんとラテラルルーツ農園さんに行ってきて、実際にチェリーも試食してきました。まだ青っぽい果実を、試食させていただきましたけれども、もうすでにねレイニアチェリーの、持っている風味だったりとかみずみずしさっていうのは感じられてとても美味しかったですね。こっからねさらにね、3-4週間かけて糖度を増して完熟したレイニアチェリーになるということでもう待ちきれないですよね。もう私もね毎年頼んで、毎年いつもねこのレイニアチェリーの時期が来るのを楽しみにしていて、フルーツギフトさんの、サイトからですね、友達とか家族に送ってるぐらいなんで、今回こういった機会でねご紹介させていただくことができてとても嬉しく思います。Wismettacさんが運営されている、フルーツギフトの、URL はですね、動画の概要欄に貼っておきますのでぜひ、確認いただければなというふうに思います。そして最後にですね、こちらの動画を見ていただいて良いなと思った方がいたらですね、ぜひ動画へのいいね、そしてチャンネル登録もよろしくお願いいたします。またですね、レイニアチェリーに対する感想ですとか、あと体験談なんかもお持ちの方もいたらですね、ぜひコメント欄の方にコメントもいただければ嬉しいです。それではね、今回の動画は以上となります。最後までご視聴いただきありがとうございました。また次の動画でお会いしましょう。さよなら。